Anybody got any questions about what we covered last time? Okay. So, let me ask you about verse 12. That's where we're at. Bill, would you read that for us?
The 10 horns that you saw are 10 kings who have received no kingdom as yet. They receive authority for 1 hour as kings with the beast.
Who are these 10?
We don't know yet, do we?
Well,
10 kings.
10
where do you,
10 powers that are going to come.
where have you
along.
seen it before? Where?
Oh,
Pastor, I've got a black marker in the car if you want one.
We'll use that. I don't think we'll be okay.
They divided
Well,
the country into 10. You know, there are 10 countries that.
okay, so what are you talking about, Wanda?
I mean, like the Ostrogoths and that set of rules.
Okay, so in Daniel chapter 7, we had in verse 4, we had the lion with eagle's wings representing what country? Babylon, right. And what were the dates?
605 to
538.
That's it, 539. I know, it's easy to get mixed up with
Yeah,
the
the
539.
38 and 39.
Yeah, because October the 15th, 539. Okay, so now in verse 5 of Daniel chapter 7, you got a bear that's higher on one side than the other, 3 ribs in his mouth. Who's it represent?
Lydia, Egypt, and
Medes and the Persians is the bear, right?
oh,
What
I
are the
thought you
three?
meant
What are the ribs?
Lydia, Egypt, Lydia, Egypt, and was it
Babylon.
Babylon?
Yeah. So you got the 3 ribs there, right? And so, what is Daniel chapter 7 verse 6? What's the beast?
Leopard is next.
Isn't it really a leopard?
A leopard.
Leopard, thank you. Right? So we got this leopard, and it's got how many heads and how many wings?
4
4 heads and 4 wings, and it represents one entity.
Greece.
Okay, and what's the dates for that one?
331 to 168.
I like it. That's pretty cool. I really, yeah. Yeah? Why do we pick 331?
Battle of
Arbel,
It's easier to say Arbella than it is Gaugamela.
Gaugamela.
Right?
Gargamel.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, why do we pick 168? Who was the next kingdom?
Rome.
Okay. Why 168?
Is that the Battle of Hydra?
Yeah, hidden, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, what did you put down?
Hydra. I don't know why.
Well, the R's an N, right? Hidden. Yeah. Okay, so now we're down to 168. We have this terrible beast. What comes out of the terrible beast?
A little horn.
Okay, but before that, there is. So we have the terrible beast represents what comes out of the terrible beast before the little horn.
Roman Empire.
The 10 horns.
Oh.
That's what you were referring to, right?
Right.
Right? The 10 nations of Europe that the Roman Empire
Split into.
essentially, and then 3 were uprooted because of the little horn, right? That's what the Bible tells us. And so we can follow the history of that. It's really pretty cool how we can do that. And so now, when did Rome fall apart into these 10 horns? Well,
It was 476.
I like it. Wanda, you nailed it.
One is rocking today.
Oh, I got it.
I mean, she is, isn't she?
Yeah.
476 AD, you have the 10 horns, okay? All right, so now back to Revelation chapter 17 and verse 12. Right? When do these 10 horns pop up?
That's during the eight power that takes over.
Is it the same as this?
Well, the one is the Catholic Church, and the 10 isn't that the nations that are going to come out of that.
So I think we have to be careful, don't we? You notice this is 476 AD, but verse 12 says, what does it say? They have not. So the 10 horns in Daniel 7 can't be the 10 horns here
No,
in Revelation 17. We in agreement? What do you think?
Didn't
Do I
you,
need to dodge a tomato?
didn't
We're
you-
okay?
Didn't you say that this is a possibility of coming out about the same time that the 8th power, which is a...
Okay, let's think about the timing,
And,
right?
and we have a division of 10 today, you said.
Let's go back to Daniel. So we agree that this is not the same.
Right.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to erase that. Let's go back to Daniel chapter 2. We have the head of gold represents what?
Babylon.
What are the dates?
605 to 539
BC.
BC.
Okay. And then we have the chest and arms of silver representing,
Medo Persia,
what are the dates?
539 to 331.
Okay. And then we have the belly and thighs of brass in the King James, or bronze, really is what it is. It represents what? Okay.
Greece,
And what are the dates?
331 to 168.
Okay. And then we have 2 legs of what?
Iron.
Representing what?
Rome.
Why do we have 2 legs?
East and west.
We have east and west. Thank you. Right? What was the capital of the Eastern Roman Empire?
Constantinople.
Constantinople. That's exactly right. We had Rome in the west and Constantinople in the east. 2 legs. I think it's pretty cool how accurate the Bible is, right? Isn't that cool? And then Rome falls apart into 10. Right? In the statue, where does it fall apart at? Into a different material. Okay? So I could say, starting at the ankles, right? Ankles, right? It's now different material. What is it made of?
Iron and clay.
Iron and clay, right? Representing that it fell apart into different nations with different strengths.
Was that when they went and got the Pope, took him away?
No,
No, okay.
no, that was in 476 AD when it fell apart into these different materials, okay? It does parallel Daniel chapter 7,
Okay.
all right? So in 476 AD it falls apart. So what do the 10 toes of the statue represent in Daniel 2?
10 different countries.
That's in Kings of Revelation chapter 17. You see that?
No way.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that's cool.
It can't be representing the 10 horns of Daniel chapter 7 because it fell apart at the ankle. It was different material, right? And then we're working our way toward the toes. So the 10 toes of the statue represents the 10 kings in Revelation chapter 17. You see that?
Now.
You see how the timing doesn't work out for the 10 toes to represent the 10 horns.
Right.
Bill?
It's further down the statue.
Okay, Bill is like this.
Yeah.
And that's good because you got to chew on it a little
This is say
bit.
the ankle and toe pin all happen at once, though. And the whole leg happened at once, the whole leg happened at once.
Okay. Well, I'm kind of going, there is a timing chronology in the statue, right? It didn't all happen at once, right? It's just that with the legs. All of a sudden you didn't have the Roman Empire. It happened over time, right? You initially didn't have a split between the East and the West, right? It wasn't until Constantine, he relocated his throne over to the eastern part in Constantinople.
Why does he do
What's it
that?
called today?
Istanbul.
Istanbul, right? And so, we have this chronology taking place in the statue, and it falls apart at the end of the Roman Empire and goes into these 10 nations. So you have different material before you ever get to the toes. You see that? So the 10 toes can't represent the 10 horns. That's not the parallel. It's the 10 toes are parallel to Revelation chapter 17 because the 10 toes are way at the end, right? Right before the second coming, represented by the rock, right? This stone cut out without hands hits the statue and obliterates the kingdoms of the world. And then basically encompasses the whole earth. That represents Christ's second coming.
It said it's not for very long. Well, is that going to be, that the whole world is going to be divided into those 10 sections? Like you're saying that there is a
Yeah, and y'all seen
situation
the
now that
coin?
has 10.
Right? They minted the coin and divided the world up into 10 sections. Yeah, you can Google that.
USD?
I can't remember who minted the coin, but you could, look at the coin where the world's been divided up into 10 areas. And I can't remember when it was minted. You know what I'm talking about, Scott? Okay. Right.
So that's what you're thinking this is then?
Yeah, I think these 10, because it says here, the 10 horns which you saw are 10 kings who have received no kingdom as yet.
And doesn't last very long.
Right. Tell me when they received their kingdom.
When the beast takes power.
Okay. Well,
1 hour.
if I draw a timeline up here, oh, it does say 1 hour. Okay.
Yeah, these will be revived.
What?
Someplace that's 30
What's
minutes.
the
That's about 2 weeks.
What's the Greek word for day?
Imera.
Okay. What's the Greek word used here? Hora.
Hora.
Hora. Can hora not be also translated day? In other words, daytime.
Any time. It can be a season like fall. It
Yeah.
can be many.
Yeah, you see that? This Greek word can represent the daytime hours of a day. So sometimes you can say a day, meaning the 12 hours of daytime. It can represent a season. It can represent just some period of time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the Greek word that's used here. Okay? So don't try to take and apply the year for day to this, because it's not, because that would be a little over 2 weeks, right, Tom? If you do year for day, it'd be a little over 2 weeks. We don't know. It's just for a little period of time. It doesn't really specify what the time is.
Well, it says 1 hour then.
Well, I mean, it's because it's trying to say, because it's hora. Hora means a little period of time,
Okay.
right? They just translated it into English so that we can kind of get the concept that it's a short period of time,
Okay.
right? Right? With 1 hour, if you applied to every year, 2 weeks. Now, could it be just 2 weeks? Maybe. But, I don't think we ought to apply it there. I don't think you can apply day for year in this particular case, Scott.
What's the Greek word in chapter 8, verse 1 for hour?
Okay, that's a good question. It's a really
Chapter
good.
8, verse 1.
Chapter 8, verse 1. Revelation chapter 8.
Και όταν ήμουν στις φλόγες του νερού, ως ημιόριον. Ημιόριον half hour. But it says ως ημιόριon, as a half hour. Not for. Revelation, Revelation 8:1. He's talking about the silence in heaven.
Yeah,
Half hour.
yeah. So that is a Greek word. It's a totally different Greek word. And that's why we apply day for year to this half hour, don't we? Because we say, oh, it's taking us about a week. There's nobody in heaven for about a week, right? It's a little over a week, right? When you apply day for year to it, right? Silence in heaven for a half an hour, because everybody has left heaven to come back and get us here on this earth, right? God the Father has left heaven. God the Son has left heaven. God the Holy Spirit. All the angels. The living, what do you want to call these beasts, if you want to call them beasts, or the 4 living creatures is probably a better way to say it, or we could call them the seraphim, right? They also have left. There's nobody in heaven during this period of time, because they all come back to get us, right? Show me that God the Father has left heaven for the second coming. I like it. What's the verse in Revelation 6?
16.
I like it. You read it for us.
And said to the mountains and the rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb.
Right, so we have both him who sits on the throne, God the Father, and from the wrath of the Lamb, God the Son. They're both here in our atmosphere.
That's the clouds of glory.
Yes, that's exactly right. So it's almost like, can you imagine? I love this. The Midnight Cry. Do you know the song The Midnight Cry? Have y'all heard the song Midnight Cry? If you're into Southern Gospel, listen to that song. It touches my heart, Because it's the father says to his son, let's go get our children. right? You know, can you imagine? It's time to come get us. You know, and that's where 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, the dead are raised, verse 16. Verse 17, we who are alive and remain, we're called to meet him in the air, and he takes us back to heaven.
You know, Pastor, I was watching a Line Upon Line, Pastor John Bradshaw, and him and Wes Pastor Peppers both said that there was nothing in the Bible said that God was coming back with Jesus.
Oh, really?
I'm like, that's not
It
right.
seems pretty obvious
Yeah,
to me.
yeah.
It seems pretty obvious, right? Yeah. Yeah. So,
I'm thinking about writing to him, letting him know.
we
that I
can
need
always
some
call upon John Post in there in the Whitwell, Tennessee area to kind of confirm that for us.
The midnight cry, didn't they say that that was during the time that
Yeah,
William Miller came?
that's true.
Well, this is
Adventist midnight cry is different than the midnight
Because I was
cry.
startled to
Is that
hear
a
him
TV show?
singing that midnight cry.
Right, but they're talking
It is
about
written.
two different things,
Yeah.
right? The Southern Gospel midnight cry is, you know, a little different than our understanding of midnight cry, okay? Because you're referring to the parable.
And I love that song. I thought, wow.
It's a great song. Yeah, it's a great song. I've used it in different evangelism series tent meetings in the Sequatchie Valley. And it was a great opportunity to be able to use Southern Gospel like that. Anyway, we're back to this period of time. It's a short period of time. Revelation chapter 17. And in verse 12, we have a short period of time, but you didn't really tell me when this is taking place. You know, what's happening here? If I got a timeline here, right? And that's eternity. And here you have a period of 1,000 years. This is the millennium, right? The second coming happens here. And the wicked, the third coming happens here and the wicked are destroyed. Right? Anybody who's not saved is going to be resurrected in this resurrection, and then they're going to experience the second death. So we are located, we're right before the second coming here. This period of time right here, where you have the close of probation. Everybody's decision's made. There's a line, right? And then in between this period of time here, what do we call that period of time between the close of probation and the second coming?
Time of trouble.
Time of great trouble.
Jacob's.
Yeah, Jacob's time of trouble happens during this, right? It happens here, that decree is given. This is the 7 last plagues, right? Okay, this is when, it's during the 7 last plagues that Revelation 17:12 takes place. Okay? So the reason why we don't know how long they have power, because we don't know how long those 7 last plagues last.
Is that the little time of trouble? The little.
The little time of trouble's over here,
Okay.
before the close of probation. Okay? Does that make sense? Because notice what it says. Revelation chapter 16 is talking about Babylon, and it says, the great city was divided, verse 19. Great Babylon was remembered before God. And then, and then it talks about these last 2 verses. So, in verse 7, in chapter 17, it's discussing who Great Babylon is. So we have looked at the history of it. Now we're getting to, the future time, right? We're living around the time of 10 and 11, but 12 is the future time. So our time is 10 and 11.
Are the 10 kingdoms suddenly pop up in that short
I don't think it's sudden maybe for us, but I think it's going to be in the planning. Satan's already been planning this.
Or somebody said super ones have the U.S. or 10, some are gonna.
Well, the United States is playing a huge role in person. The United States is playing a big role here, right before the close of probation. You're going to see a national Sunday law passed that happens before the close of probation.
That coin you mentioned with the 10 regions, I thought one was printed in 2009.
Yeah, I know it's pretty recent. Yeah, 2009.
Who printed it?
U.S.
The American coin?
Right.
thought it was a Canadian name for it, but I don't remember, okay? You can continue to research it. But we are talking about those 10 horns are popping up during the 7 last plague. What I like about it, Rams, is everybody's already made their decision. Those revelations are already taking place, right? We don't have to worry about these 10 kings that are there, you know. It's, God's in control. There's no reason to have martyrs during the 7 last plagues. The 7 last plagues is God pouring out his anger upon the world who's tried to persecute and hurt his children.
Pastor, when those
Right.
10 last, when they pop up, what happens to the papacy during that time? Has it been destroyed at that time?
I think the papacy has some form all the way down, right, to the second coming.
The ladder and the tree.
One, one of the plagues is aimed right at the papacy.
That's exactly right. And notice what it says here. It says in verse 13, these are, well, let's do verse 11. The beast that was and is not is himself also the 8th, and is of the 7th, and is going to perdition. And what's interesting about this is, in the Greek, head, because it mentions 7 heads, right? The heads is a feminine noun. But the 8th here is not feminine, it's masculine. So I think it's talking about this overall being called the beast there. So, you know, it's a revival of the papacy and their power, but in the reality, it's also the time when Satan appears himself as an angel of light. You know, he appears and tries to, the best he can, represent Christ's second coming. Ah, come now, you know, like he's Christ, or like he's the last imam, you know, the Muslims, or he's the savior of the world. So you have this, when it talks about this beast coming up in verse 11, yep, I think it's the revived papacy, but ultimately, who's behind it? It's Satan. You know, God allows Satan to show himself. He's been wanting to show himself for a long time.
That's what I just asked. When's he going to imitate coming down on that mountain?
Yeah, he's going to do that during, you know, I think you know, this timing that we're talking about there, when the 8th beast, the revival of this beast, you know, in verse 11, is the time when he appears, right? Now, what time did I say we're living in? 10 and 11. What time is Satan going to actually be allowed to appear? Verse 11. You see that?
So it makes sense to me that would be just before the close of probation, because he's trying to deceive as many people as he can.
Yeah. That's
And
a
that
good point.
really happened with the Lateran Treaty and the Pope in 1929.
Okay, so the Lateran Treaty with Mussolini and the Italian government, when they signed that Concordat in 1929, establishing the Vatican and allowing political power to return to the papacy, right? Because now they're their own country, located within the confines of Rome. All right, 108.7 acres. How many hectares was it? Was it 44?
That's
Right, brother?
Did you say the 10 kings would rise during the 7 last plagues? Right. So could you explain again your reasoning for that?
Yeah, I think these 10 kings, these 10 horns which you saw, right, they are of one mind, this is verse 13, and give their power and authority to the beast. This is after the revival of the papacy, and then the person who's ultimately behind it, Satan, can physically appear, okay? And it says, these will make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb will overcome them. Because there's a death decree given for Sabbath-keeping Christians during the 7 last plagues. It's not given before the 7 last plagues. Right? And I think it's referring to the death decree there, and they're trying to implement the death decree. Scott. So that's why I think it's during the 7 last plagues. Because they're there to implement the
Nobody will
death decree.
die, they say.
Right?
In 15 and 16, it talks about this prostitute, and they will hate them.
Yeah. So
I'm trying to understand. that.
absolutely. Give me a couple of minutes. We'll see if we can get to there. Is that okay?
Perfect.
All right. Where's your tea?
It's in my heart.
That was good. I liked it. That was good. Okay. So I want you to see in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, notice what the Bible tells us there. You know, this idea of Satan wanting to appear, but God's not allowing him. He's being restrained. Notice what it says.
9.
I think we can start in 6. Let's do 6 and 7. Who's got it? 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, 6 and 7.
And now you know what is restraining, that he may be revealed in his own time. For the mystery of lawlessness is already at work. Only he who now restrains will do so until he is taken out of the way.
So notice, God is going to allow Satan to physically appear, and I think that's in harmony with when the 8th, we have the process of the papacy, the revived papacy taking place. I mentioned 2015 as an important date because the Pope was able to speak to the joint session of Congress. The first time any religious leader spoke to a joint session of Congress in the United States was 2015. So here we have the revival of the papacy and its political power over the kings of the earth. We see it before our very eyes. I mean, you can Google just about any world leader, right? And they've met with the Pope. Why would they do that, right? And so, I mean, even other religious leaders, do Muslim leaders, do Hindu leaders, do any of the Buddhist leaders, any of the Asian religions as well. Why are they all going to meet? Why do they go to the Vatican, right? To meet with the Pope. What are they saying? You know, the Pope, you can Google this, had a prayer meeting with Muslim leaders and Jewish leaders at the Vatican. Isn't that radical?
That is radical.
Right? Do you see the whole world wondered after this entity, just like the Bible said was going to happen in Revelation 13:3?
Why do you think they do that? I'm trying to figure out what
There
they
is
thought there was some power there that they were perceiving they want part of.
Exactly. There is political power and influence. They want to be a part of that political power and influence. So if they connect themselves with the papacy, they can have they can be a part of that political power and influence. Right?
I think that they claim it's all for the purpose of unity, though.
Yeah. That's the outward reason, isn't it? Yeah.
And it sounds beautiful. Oh, unity. Let's all love each other. You know.
Pastor Ben?
Yeah, there's a true unity and a false unity, right?
Yeah.
So you said you didn't feel this reference in the 720?
Many will be deceived.
About it, I don't like quotes, but I mean,
Yeah.
the 10 beasts, it has, I mean, the 10 horns, there's 10 kings, it has reference, and then it says Daniel 7:20.
Okay, all right, read Daniel 7.
That's talking about the other beasts. And the 10 horns which were on his head, and the other horn which came up before, which they fell off, namely that horn which had eyes and a mouth, spoke pompous words, and appearance was greater than his fellows. And that's talking about the fourth beast, so that's earlier in time, definitely. 7:20, but that's
Yeah, but
the
I think,
cross-reference to that.
right, but verse 20, as you can see, isn't the focus of the 10 kings. The focus of verse 20 is that the little horn had so much power that 3 of them were uprooted. And it even goes on to say, this little horn had eyes like the eyes of a man, a mouth which spoke pompous words or blasphemous words, whose appearance was greater, right, than his fellows. Because I think the focus there in verse 20 isn't on the 10 horns, it's on the little horn, So there is a parallel in history, right? You have the 10 horns of Daniel chapter 7, but they're not exactly the same as the 10 horns given here in Revelation chapter 7. Does that make sense? Okay.
It's still a little confusing, honestly. To me.
Yeah, it's okay to be chewing on it. But when you look at the statute, it says the feet, before it ever gets to the toes, was the divided kingdom, representing the division of the 10 horns. I think the 10 horns of Daniel 7 takes place at the ankle, and the 10 toes, Daniel 2 is the 10 kings of Revelation 17. They're the last ones, right? It happens after the division of the Roman Empire.
So Pastor, the 10 horns, 3 countries were done away with, so that's Europe today. That represents Europe
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, they evolved into the 7
And it turned
countries.
into 7. So then
Right.
you come down to the feet, there's 10. So it means that they're going to be divided into 10 sections, obviously. That's going to
Right,
be...
right, and that's the coin we were talking about, that he mentioned was minted in 2009, how there's already a plan in place by Satan to divide the world up into 10 regions. It's already there, right?
That seems to be a number that he uses.
Yeah, and I think Satan's going to implement that, right? In order to be able to persecute God's people during the 7 last plagues. Right, so he's got the plan in place, and he's moving the chess pieces so that this can be implemented. But the 10 horns don't have their kingdoms yet. And I don't think they get them until the 7 last plagues. The purpose of the 10 horns, of these 10 kings, that are going to be there for 1 hour or a short period of time, is to persecute and to kill God's commandment-keeping people. That's their purpose.
Well, it represents the whole world. So
It represents the whole world.
it means that each one of those 10 will take care of their part of the world to fall
Exactly,
into
exactly. And who's behind it? It's the 8th, right? And the 8th can't be referring to another head, because, like I said, you've got 8th there. It doesn't have the definite article in the Greek, and it is masculine, but heads are feminine. So it's got to be referring to the whole beast. And the whole beast is representing, yes, revived papacy, but ultimately the devil who's going to be able to appear, right? And I think he does appear before the close of probation, right?
What
So-
verse is that with the heads and the 8?
Okay, Revelation chapter 17, look at 10 and 11.
Right, exactly. So, Pastor, when does the papacy get killed? When do they turn on him? I mean, the devil.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
devil used
okay.
him.
So now we're going back to what you're saying there. You guys you want to jump ahead. It says, notice, these will make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb will overcome them. So he gives us a broad picture that they're going to try to kill God's commandment-keeping people during the 7 last plagues. And it says, ultimately, they're not going to be successful because Christ is going to win, right? That's verse 14.
And
okay?
nobody will die after that.
Yeah, there's no martyrs during the 7 last plagues, right? And then verse 15 gives us a clue about the authority and power that this 8th has over the world. The waters which you saw where the harlot sits are peoples, multitudes, nations, and tongues. So you have the political aspect of it, the beast. You have the woman riding the beast. That's the religious aspect. They're working together, and they have influence over all the peoples of the earth. There in verse 15, you see that, right? Now we're in verse 16. Okay. And the 10 horns which you saw on the beast, these will hate the harlot, make her desolate, and burn and naked, eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. Why do they do this?
They figured it out.
So Satan is now physically there, right? And he says to these leaders, these 10 kings, it's the papacy's fault.
Yeah.
It's their reason why we're failing here.
He turns on his own people.
He turns on his own people. You remember what Ellen White told us, right? That what's going to happen during this time? The people in all these apostate Protestant denominations are going to turn on their ministers, and they're going to say, you deceived us, right? That's happening during this time. That's part of the religious entity called Babylon here. Because they're going to turn on their pastors. They're going to say, you deceived us, right?
But doesn't it, but when I'm reading that, it says the beast and the 10 horns, that's the Catholics, right? That institution will hate the prostitutes, which the harlots, the daughters.
So think of it this
like,
way. The beast is representing the political side, and the woman represents the religious side. They're working together, okay? But the woman is yes, the papacy, but it's also any apostate Protestant or any religion who connects themselves with her. what is the connection of these, all, the ones we talked about that are meeting with the Pope, right? The Asian religions. What do they have in common? They all believe the soul's immortal, right? That is a common teaching. And you know, the Muslims venerate Mary too, right?
Well, it would make sense if the prostitutes hate the beast and the 10 horns and they try to ruin him. But it's saying the opposite, right? That's how I'm reading that.
Yeah. It's saying the opposite, what way?
The beast and the 10 horns you saw will hate the prostitute.
Yes, that's correct. Right. All those are the political entities. They turn on the religious entity. You see
Who's
that?
the beast?
The beast and the 10 horns, they're the political side. The woman is the religious
But
side.
it doesn't say that the beast hates the prostitute. It says the horns hate the prostitute.
Yes. But I think the horns are just following what the beast is telling them to do.
You know, it's interesting.
Because they're on the beast. You see that? They're really a part of the beast, aren't they? It says the horns on the beast, right? They're a part of the beast. That's the political side. They see, wait, we're failing here. It's not stopping the 7 last plagues. You know, we're not winning this war. And it's the papacy's fault. It's the apostate Protestants' fault. It's the woman's fault that we're not. So they turn on the woman, you see.
Pastor, that happened in France. They turned on the church.
They
in
did.
France.
That's exactly right. Jason?
So when they go against the harlot, is that after Satan appears?
Yes. That's exactly right.
Everybody.
Exactly right. Yeah. Now remember, we are living during 10 and 11. And Satan's going to appear during our time. You see what I'm saying is, it's not much longer that he's going to appear. And you guys, you know, of course Christ says don't go out and sin. Right?
So you figure he's already walking around there on earth?
No. I think God's going to allow him to physically appear. What he's going to try to do is imitate Christ's second coming.
Okay.
Right? He's going to come, he's going to be glorious looking, he's going to sound with a melodious voice, he's going to heal people of diseases. They're going to say, this is Christ, he's come again. Right?
He's not coming in the air, right?
Well, he's not able to fully, right? Because people in other denominations don't understand the second coming, right? They have been deceived, and that's one of the purposes of the 7-year tribulation and the secret rapture, right? The purpose of that is to prepare the apostate Protestant churches to receive the devil as Christ, right? Because they don't understand the real second coming.
So
Are they gonna, when they figure out that they've been deceived, is that just before the close of tribulation so they have a chance to get it right? Or is it after and it's too late?
Everybody has an opportunity to get it right. God doesn't close the door until everybody's had an
When they
opportunity.
figure out, hey, wait a minute, I thought I was on the right side and I got deceived.
Right.
Do they
But
have a chance
now,
at that point to?
that's why God has called and raised up the Seventh-day Adventist Church, is to go out and share the Bible so that people can
That's right.
make decisions according to the truths in the Bible. That's why we're here.
That's right.
That's what we're supposed to be doing.
by faith.
Exactly. It's all by faith in Christ alone, right? And so here's the thing. I've told you that you are living in the time when Satan is going to appear. Right?
Right.
You think he's gonna appear right around the Sunday law or after the Sunday law? Because that, Ellen White said they're gonna start killing, the United States is gonna start killing early.
Well, they're going to start persecuting, right? So first is throwing people in prison. First is using the IRS as a tool to be able to destroy they'll go after the pastors first, right? Yeah. Yeah, uh-oh. All right. So I think that's what's going to happen first. But yeah, that's all going to happen before the close of probation.
Do you think the devil's gonna show himself right in that area?
Before the close of probation, I think the devil's going to show himself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is he sure?
Yeah, it doesn't take,
I think I've got it.
Yeah, they'll say it's Christ.
Take one of
Pastor,
Yeah. Lori?
So are you, when they're saying that they're gonna hate the harlot and kind of turn on the is
Tell
that
Richard
the
that I
same,
missed
is
her and
that
I wanted to start coming back.
the same time as like when Armageddon, when they turn
looking for
on
the
Satan,
doctor.
or is that like, that's gonna happen twice? they're gonna turn.
Okay, I don't see them turn on Satan until the third coming.
Right.
Well, that's the Armageddon.
Yeah, when the wicked are
So
resurrected,
this is not talking about that, this is
Right.
talking about.
right, before the millennium, yeah.
Pastor, it's like Satan used the papacy up until this point. Now he doesn't need them anymore. And he uses
Yeah,
them to
exactly.
do that.
That's exactly right. That's exactly what's going on here. And so after the millennium, whenever the wicked are resurrected, right? And Satan goes out there and says, "Oh, I'm the one that resurrected you, and we're the good guys, and they're the bad guys, and they're in the city over there because the New Jerusalem has come down, right?" And it says in Revelation 20, verse 9, they went around the camp of the saints, the beloved city, right? And it's at this point in time when they see Christ elevates above the city, they see the great panorama of there where they have played their role in the great controversy, and they turn on Satan. Have a huge fight among themselves. And that's when fire comes down from God out of heaven and devours, right? And it takes place at that point.
That's when heaven begins.
And so then we have the lake of fire, right?
Like a fire.
Fire.
Four.
Yeah. How you spell that?
F-I-R.
F-I-R-E, but really it's
FAR.
F-A-R, bar.
F-I-R, yeah, it's
Yeah.
like a fire.
Yeah, yeah, maybe, like, maybe we should, the Germans have the umlaut, maybe
There
we,
you go, yeah.
that's southern speak for fire. All right, I know we gotta finish up. Is someone,
Oh, it was me.
okay,
So, I think you've already went over this, but I just want to be clear on it. So when Jesus comes, and the wicked who are still here, every knee is bowed and tongue shall confess he's Lord. Those people die at the sight of Jesus, right?
okay. Every tongue confesses, your Philippians chapter 2, 10 and 11 there, that happens after the millennium.
Oh, this is after.
That's after the millennium.
So, but when Jesus comes, and that we're all here, and there's still wicked people,
Yeah?
they die, right? At the sight of his coming.
Yeah, at the second coming, correct.
And then they're resurrected again,
Right.
and they die again.
They died the second death.
The Pharisees.
Well, the
Pharisees
ones that are
died the
dead aren't
third death.
resurrected.
Okay. Yeah.
Only the
so.
wicked that are alive are die.
Father in heaven, we thank you for these great truths of the Bible, and we do have to chew on it and really dissect it and understand it. So please continue to pour out the Holy Spirit and help us. But use the Holy Spirit to motivate us, God, to speak through us, to share these truths with people who are open, your people on this earth. Help us, God. Accomplish what you called us to do. Help us be good soldiers for Christ, as it says in 2 Timothy chapter 2. In Jesus' name we thank you. Amen.